my name is Fivoleva and I just want to welcome you right now to Lively Materials. Oh yes, and I'm here with my lecturer, Dr. Boduri. I'm so happy to have you right now. I studied Metallurgical and Materials Science at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and it's with great joy that I'm going to be doing this with my lecturer, or my former lecturer, to discuss, discuss metallurgy and material science. So over to you, Mr. Boduri.
Audience, welcome to Lively Materials. My name is Michael Oluwatosin Boduri. I like to say the three names. My first name is Michael, middle name is Oluwatosin, and my surname is Boduri. Yeah, so we are here on Lively Materials, and we'll be talking about material science and engineering in general. But most importantly, we'll be talking about metals, because we're too familiar with them that we don't value them, and we want you to value them more, because without them we can't stay alive.
So I'd like you to just quickly tell, our listeners that one of the reasons why we decided to start this YouTube channel, because this is our first ever video. So welcome to Lively Materials for the first ever video.
Basically, the reason why I thought we should start this YouTube channel is because we do not have enough people who appreciate material science globally. People want to study other fields of science, other fields of engineering, like chemical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, and computer engineering. Whereas without materials, you cannot actually practice those, practice in those fields. And we have very little interest from young generations because they don't know a lot about metals. So the study of metals is something that is very important, but a lot of people don't know about it. They don't even know you have to study a course called metallurgical engineering or materials engineering. So I thought if we start to make it accessible via this channel, then maybe it will spike the interest of younger generations, especially in Africa, where we have the largest amount of critical metals in terms of their reserves in different African countries. But we need people who have the know-how, the technical know-how, to already see the future. And seeing the future means study metallurgical engineering, study material science and engineering, and then we can change Africa and we can change the world.
Hopefully. Thank you so much for the need, having the need to want to impact, because I think that's something that is very major right now. And as Africa, that we have as a country in Africa, that we have raw materials, raw metals deposited abundantly in the continent. It's so sad that we don't know how to utilize, and we really don't know so much. Like the basic knowledge of this type of metals is not out there to the layman. And it's only as someone who probably has a degree or has studied, that can understand how much we are missing out on when it comes to materials as an economy. Yes. So I would like to ask you right now, why are metals so important?
Why metals are very, very important. When you talk about technological advancement, the only material that seem to actually champion that is it's metals. Technological advancement has actually been named after two metals now. The first, after the Stone Age, the next thing you had, Industrial Revolution, that happened was Bronze Age. Then now you have Iron Age. Now metals are still very, very important. We're talking about fourth Industrial Revolution. It's not going to happen without metals. In fact, that's why there's world politics now on critical minerals. Like those critical minerals are basically metallic materials like manganese, copper. What would we do without copper? Because it has very good conductor of electricity. It's a very good conductor of electricity. So you can't power your house if you don't have access to copper. Technological advancement wouldn't have been possible without metals. So that's one of the reasons why metals are so important. Okay, let me crack a bit of joke here. If you're sick, right, you don't have enough blood, they ask you to take iron supplement. It's iron, not a metal. Yeah, it's iron, not a metal. Yeah, it is. Okay. In fact, Metallic ions in your body actually makes you function well. If you have depletion of any of those, you don't function well. So that's even breaking it down to biology. So it's not all metals that are just the solid thing that we use, that we see every day. And
mostly everybody believes that metals are hard objects that you have to break or they are hard to hold. That's literally because we call everything iron.
Exactly. And people don't even know that we have different types of metals, but we go into them bit by bit, as we progress, in our program. With periodic table, for example, you have 27 of these 118 elements do not qualify as a metallic material. But the universe knew that we would need metals in abundance, and that's why most of the elements that were found in the periodic table qualify as metallic material. So metals are so important that you can cook without them. You can drive without them.
You said cook without them. Sorry to interrupt you there. A lot of people would be so intrigued by what you mean that we are cooking metals.
Yeah, we can also cook metals, You can cook food without metals, but metals, for you to be able to use metals to cook, we also cook it. That's why you have to come and study metallurgical and materials engineering to know how to cook metals, because we have to cook them first before we form them into that nice shape that you call pots. Or if you are interested in owambe, if you're from West Africa, you understand what owambe is, big patties. So we have those big pots that we use to make food and stuff like that. So they're so important that we can't cook without them. If you've seen, and let's talk about some of the wonders of the world. For example, the Museum of the Future in Dubai. Have you seen that algorithmic building? We wouldn't have been able to actually build that kind of structure without metals. Let's talk about the tallest building currently that we have, the Burj Khalifa. Again in the Middle East. Without steel, you can't build such structures. So metals have made our lives so easy. You want to staple papers together, you use metals. Again, so we started with stones, but stones didn't bring us this far. Right, but we're so familiar with metals that we see them. I'm sitting on a chair right now. I'm sure you all at home are sitting on a chair. Yeah, you've got wood and stuff like that. Trust me, the nail that you use to join the wood together is made from metal. So we're just so familiar with them that we don't care how it's been made. And metals are things of necessity, and we need people to study them to help us improve them so that we can use them.
I wanted to even chip in something. I remember during my undergraduate days, you asked this question and you said that what is the king of metal? Is it gold or is it iron? And everybody was like, oh, it's iron. Some people were like, it's gold. And I kept saying that I believe it's gold, because it's scarce and according to it has more economic value, it has more worth. But at the end of the day, you made a very valid point that you said, hey, listen, do you know you would not have everything you have right now without cast iron, without iron itself? Like, this would not exist. Like, so that's true.
Yeah, you're such a good student, you still remember that conversation. Okay.
This literally, I was very attentive actually, very, very.
You had good grades in my course, so that's really good. Yeah, thumbs up to you.
You should listen, I had good grades. So listen to the question where I want to ask you that what is your favorite metal? What is the metal that you feel like you have some level of affinity for, that you say, this is my favorite metal and this is why?
That's a very, very difficult question. So currently, I drive a very moderate car, a modest one. It's Ford EcoSport. So, but it's not the entry level one. It's the Ford EcoSport Titanium. And everyone that sees me, that knows about my PhD, said, "Oh, you eventually bought a car named after the metal you studied in your PhD. So, and actually, it's titanium that is really bringing food to my table now, basically. So, it's very difficult for me to really say, but I can contextualize my answer. So, when I was an undergrad student like you, I've got a lecturer called Professor Ajayi. I'm not sure if he taught you. I mean, he's still around now. I'm not sure if if you had to attend any of his courses. He convinced us that gold is the king of all metals, and we should consider gold as our favorite metal, right? But at that point, so if you ask me between 2008 up to 2014, gold used to be my favorite metal because it's scarce, it's something of value. I mean, so when countries save their reserves, economic reserves, like in gold, basically. But do you know that there are other precious metals that are even more expensive than gold? We will talk about them in another session, okay? Currently, my favorite metal is steel. Actually, I'm creating a new version of steel. Yes, I can't tell how now, but maybe in subsequent edition of our program, I'll talk about it. But our target is to use this steel in human bodies, just the way we use titanium, because we can make it cheaper. Then we can make artificial bones, implants for people who are disabled, so that their body functionality can be restored. I'm so passionate about medicine, but I'm not a medical student, so that's why I really love titanium back then. But it's expensive. But steel is very cheap, and without it, you can't make every other metal, unfortunately. Like I told you in the case of gold. So
I think there's also so much money that has gone into making steel, the production of steel to be cheap compared to titanium.
The science of steel has really it's really robust. So we know that material, and it's a very stable material. It's a very stubborn material. It's very you can predict it. To a large degree, but unlike these other materials like aluminium, like titanium, the science is it's well advanced, but still not as the confidence that we have in steel is not the same when we compare it to when we compare the knowledge we have on titanium and aluminium. So, and without steel, we won't be where we are today.
I think without steel there will be no economy.
If we can produce steel in Nigeria, it would create 20 million jobs. Let me tell you, every nation that produces steel are considered one of the world power in the world because it's a critical material. Without it, we can't exist peacefully.
The only African country currently that produces steel is South Africa and Egypt. They are the only ones that their steel plants are currently working. Even though we have one in Nigeria.
Yeah, when we get it seems like currently the government is a little bit more serious in trying to get steel production happen. The day steel production happens in Nigeria, that's the day we would truly be free as a country.
I think that's when Tinubu comes in and the farmers will make more money.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And do you know that the waste that you get from steel making can be converted into making actually cement, and then you can build. So do you know that you could also probably get some valuable raw materials for making fertilizer from these processes as well. In fact, depending on the type of iron ore that you have, you might be able to actually extract some other interesting metals from maybe blast furnace slag. But blast furnace slag is a technical term. Basically, what blast furnace slag means is it's a waste that you get from actually processing iron ore. through the blast furnace itself. So the facility that processes iron ore is called blast furnace. But I think that the waste that we get from processing steel is beneficial to other industries. That's basically the point I want to make. So I think that we have to take that serious in Nigeria.
Okay, so I think we have almost covered on most of the questions that we said we're going to talk about. Why you should follow us on Instagram at Lively Materials, on YouTube at Lively Materials, TikTok Lively Materials. Why we want you to follow us and what it is that is for you to learn and share. I think you covered it all. You said some things like I would love to pick, like, did you know metal has memory? Follow us to learn more. Did you know metals have accidents? Not only human beings die, but metals too die.
Why you should follow us is because you get to learn a lot about the lively materials that we have. Do you know that metals can develop cancer? If you want to know more about that, do you know that metals can die? Yeah, they can. We have a lot of those ready in store for you, so you should just follow us, and I bet you would really enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Please ensure that you hit the like button, hit the share button. Make sure you like, subscribe to Lively Materials. Thank you so much. This brings us to the end of this episode. Trust us that we're going to be having some episodes and series under these topics that we have mentioned and talked about today, especially why are metals so important. So hopefully we get to see you next episode, and follow us on social media platforms where you can enjoy our short reels, enjoy our TikTok videos, and also try to use these videos to educate one person around you on the benefits of metals. Let everybody know what metals can do. You educate one person, you educate another. That's how we build our economy. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys.
And stay lively, stay lively, stay lively.